First of all, welcome to the channel and thank you for stopping by. When time permits, please consider subscribing. I would greatly appreciate it. Behind me is my Honda CRF250L. You didn't hear me wrong. It's not a 300L, but it's really not a 250L anymore either. A few years ago, Honda came out with a recall on the 300cc engine. Well, 286cc for the 300 line of Honda bikes. And for that recall, they released a factory stroker kit. And that stroker kit happened to be most of the difference between the 250cc engine in the 250L and the host of 300 bikes they sold. Now, this bike I had had for 2 years at the end of last season, and it was fantastic and it was fun. But I was kind of getting to the point where it felt like it was falling behind. It felt like it was a little slow compared to the guys I was riding with. A little slow compared to all the bikes I was borrowing. And I thought, why not go ahead and do the 286 stroker upgrade, get a little bit out of it, because it's been a fantastic bike. I didn't want to sell it. I certainly didn't want to spend a lot of money on another bike when this one was a really good bike. So over the winter, what I did was I went ahead and I sent it off to one of our local shops, Pro Cycles here in the area, and they went ahead and did the throttle body change, the stroker change. They went ahead and added an EJK to it, and I had already opened up the exhaust. So basically it went from having just under 20 on a dyno to having just about 27-ish. And that's not a bad deal. If I'd been able to do the work myself, you're talking $700. I paid a little more because I'm not going inside of an engine. If you can, that's great. Other people also do save money by going ahead and using the ECU off of one of the 300 bikes as opposed to putting an EJK on. But I'd really recommend going with the EJK because then it can be tuned exactly, because the bike is 90% the same as the 300 engine, but there are differences. So you might as well have the tuner that's going to tune to the exhaust better, going to tune to the motor better. Let's hop on and I'll tell you a little bit about how that upgrade went. So, what does a 286L and your approximately $1,000 get you? Primarily, what you're going to get is low end. I at first thought, hey, this bike is now going to do 75 instead of 65 comfortably. But that's not really what it does, and that's not really a bad thing, because what it does add is the low end. Helps a lot. Now when I'm on something tight or when I'm on a hill, first gear, second gear, it just flies right up. It just digs in and goes. Where before, it kind of lagged a little. It required a lot more RPMs to get it going. Now, I'm sure the GoPro is not showing it, but this is fairly steep and it just climbs. Very, very happy. Of course, what are the odds you could hear that, because it is quite loud too. But yes, you get the 286 upgrade and you basically add torque. You basically add low-end grunt for when you're doing something that's slow or something that's steep. And in my opinion, after having ridden this bike for 2 years, that was its weakness. Trail riding or sitting here on dirt, gravel, the bike was fine, absolutely fine. But anytime you were trying following your friends up a hill, well, it took a lot more effort with the clutch to get up that hill. Now, not at all. Just climbs, climbs, climbs. I recently had the opportunity to ride a friend's DRZ 400, and honestly, it's almost, not quite, but almost as good climbing as that DRZ was. And I also had recently an opportunity to ride a friend's WR250R, and it's way better. That bike has no low-end grunt compared to this. So I'm not at all unhappy with it. I wasn't willing to spend the money to go pick up a DRZ. And I certainly wasn't willing to spend the money to go pick up something, beefier and lighter. But now I don't have to. I'm an old man. I ride, roads and trails with rocks and mud, but I'm not riding anything fast. So all the extra grunt this gave me made my bike a better bike. Oh, it's a bit muddy. But that's the area I live in. Mud and dirt, dirt and mud. So if you own one of these bikes, and a whole lot of you do, I would definitely recommend taking a look. See what a local shop would cost you to go ahead and throw the 286 in. It just makes the bike better at what it does. It's not going to turn it into a KTM. It's not going to make your friend with the DRZ 400 jealous, but it is going to improve your ride. So, there are my opinions. Take them for what you will. And if you stayed this long, take care. I appreciate it.